you kind of realize there's a whole world of possibility out there, but you don't know where to start. And so it's so easy to like meet your random roommates maybe and go to random events like Howdy Week, for example, or just begin somewhere, even though it's so intimidating and so frightening because there's so many students here. But at the same time, that means there's so many possibilities to be involved.
Well, I am so happy to be here with all of you, kicking off season 2 of On Air with Student Affairs with a special episode talking about all things Howdy Week. It is wild to me to think that students are almost back in Aggie land. I was thinking about it the other day, and we're genuinely like 2 weeks away from a lot of the things beginning. You know, we have our last new student conference, move-in is starting, and then Howdy Week kicks off. So I just want to go around and can y'all introduce yourselves first, kind of talk about what role you have within student life, talk about what's your major, where you're coming from to Texas A&M, your year.
Howdy, my name is Jamie. I'm a junior coming from Richmond, Texas. In student life, I am a Howdy Week lead ambassador, and I'm just so excited to get started.
Howdy, my name is Courtney Ammerman. I'm a senior neuroscience major with a pre-med minor, and my role in student life is orientation team leader, and I have really just enjoyed getting to know and getting to see all of the new students this summer.
Howdy, my name is Gabriel Rodriguez, and I'm a sophomore ecology and conservation bio major from Southlake, Texas. My role in student life is I'm an orientation leader. It's just a really cool experience. We get to meet all the new students, and I really love it, so...
Can y'all talk a little bit about your involvement journey at Texas A&M? So you've all mentioned what you're involved in right now, but like Jamie and Courtney, y'all are really great examples of you've kind of worked that chain throughout student life and stayed with our office for quite a while. So can you talk about, what empowered you to get involved, but also what have you been involved in?
What empowered me to get involved at Texas A&M was to meet new people, to network and have new experiences. My experience in student life has ranged from an orientation leader last summer to being the lead and being in the student organization, Aggie Parent and Family Ambassadors, APFA. And now I'm a part of Howdy Week. And it just is so impactful to be there for the first week of students because that's just the best week, in my opinion, because everybody's just so excited to be here and all the fun things are happening.
Yeah, I think what empowered me was more feeling kind of lost at A&M, coming in at such a big school, and I just didn't really have many friends or anything like that. And so actually, my mom saw a post on Facebook for Aggie orientation leaders and thought that it would be a great place for me. So I applied, got the job, worked alongside Jamie last summer, and I loved it so much that I decided I wanted to come back for round 2, but this time more in a leadership role. So I talked to my supervisor, and he brought me on as an orientation team leader, and I have really just loved every second of it, getting to see so many new students, so many people excited to come to Texas A&M, but also making a lot of relationships alongside.
What empowered me to get involved was fish camp. I had a really positive experience as like a freshman, and I had a bunch of friends coming out of it, and we did a bunch of stuff together. We went to Howdy Week together, and then at the end of the semester, I kind of stopped talking to them. They were like season 1 characters, and then my second semester is whenever I started being like, okay, I need to actually start doing things to meet people, and then I found the orientation leader booth at the MSC open house, followed them on Instagram, and then liked every single one of their posts, and then got the job. So
Liked every single story, too.
I was on it.
And I think something that you bring up is really helpful. You brought up MSC Open House, now rebranded to Club Crawl. And so while that's one way that students can get involved on campus and learn about the opportunities, how have y'all learned about opportunities that are available?
Well, I think a big thing for me was bannering during the first few weeks. Sometimes it's kind of overwhelming. You're walking through like main campus and there's just people everywhere, and some of them are handing you things. Some of them just want to talk to you. But that's where I found the organization that I'm involved in. It's Aggie Sisters in Healthcare. It's a professional organization for women going into healthcare. And I just think that was a big thing for me. Just seeing that like there was a place for me and they were really, really nice. And so I think even just being open to like walking up to people during the first few weeks of school is definitely something that people should just like be open to.
I completely agree that like bannering opens the idea of what there could be. At the same time, I learned about a ton of student organizations through word of mouth, through talking to people in my class or like upperclassmen that I shadowed in my major. And so hearing people's experiences and what they've gone through and their honest thoughts of the organization kind of gave me more of a biased view in that sense, but it was raw and real and it encouraged me to join something that maybe they loved.
Yeah, absolutely. And Courtney, you've done a really great job talking about how you felt when you came to Texas A&M and what that experience was. And you've talked a little bit about your fish camp experience, but do y'all recall, Jamie and Gabe, what it felt like to come to Texas A&M as a new student?
I would say it was extremely overwhelming, exciting, anxious, and you kind of realize there's a whole world of possibility out there, but you don't know where to start. And so it's so easy to like meet your random roommates maybe and go to random events like Howdy Week, for example, or just begin somewhere, even though it's so intimidating and so frightening because there's so many students here. But at the same time, that means there's so many possibilities to get involved.
Absolutely.
I had a really positive experience coming in mainly because of fish camp. My counselors were like really awesome and they provided just so much guidance throughout the first couple like weeks of classes and stuff. And I actually stayed pretty close to my like discussion group leader, and we had chemistry together. We did class work together and all that stuff. So coming in wasn't super nerve wracking because she and her partner at fish camp really helped prepare me and like the other people in our group. And I liked having that kind of friend to lean on right at the start.
Perfect. Jamie, you mentioned Howdy Week. So can you tell us a little bit about what Howdy Week is, maybe when it's taking place?
Mm-hmm. Howdy Week is August 20th through the 26th. And it is the before school starts, the week before school up until the first day of school. And it's all the fun, exciting things where you can get to know the rec center, you can get to know different places on campus, meet new friends, kind of walk your classes and have somebody guide you alongside the journey. And it's just a super exciting week to see what Aggieland has to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. We have so many events on the schedule, anywhere from attending, like if you're a freshman, attending your class photo in Kyle Field. I know that that's a really special event for our students, but also we have some new events this year. I'm excited because this is the 25th anniversary of Aggieland's official welcome. And while it hasn't always been called Howdy Week, it was formerly Gig'em Week. I'm excited because we're introducing something new called Aggie Bites Bash, which is an opportunity for students to get to know kind of the cuisine of Aggieland and the new community that they're joining. So there are so many opportunities, and you've really emphasized that. But as we talk about Howdy Week and those feelings of being nervous or unsure, or maybe we even have some students that they're coming from high school or a community college and they don't necessarily know anybody. Do you have any advice for them, or is there anything throughout Howdy Week that can help get them integrated into the events?
My advice to them would be go to the Howdy Hub initiative. And that is a place where students who maybe are coming alone or are scared coming with friends who can connect with other peers who are feeling the same way. They can be with the Howdy Week ambassador and kind of have a slower guide into Howdy Week, because from the outside looking in, it's a bit intimidating. But when you're a part of it, you just feel so excited to be a part of this amazing university.
Absolutely. So, Jamie, you've talked a little bit about Howdy Hub as an initiative that we are doing this year. But where can students find Howdy Hub, Courtney?
They can find them at any of our featured events. They're just going to be like big white flags with maroon lettering that says Howdy. And they'll be a little bit off to the side, but that's where you can find our Howdy Week ambassadors. And they'll be there to help you guys out. finding your way and stuff like that.
Perfect. So we have a lot of new initiatives this year, from new events to the Howdy Hub to actually we have Howdy Week ambassadors. And so Jamie, you've talked of kind of serving an elevated role for the Howdy Week ambassadors. Can you talk a little bit about what the Howdy Week ambassadors are designed to do and what you're looking forward to through this position?
The Howdy Week ambassadors are designed to help students, freshmen, and even other students integrate into Howdy Week itself and find a place and find people, get connected, and really get excited. And so that's kind of what I'm most looking forward to, is just the excitement of coming back and the excitement of everybody just being at their happy place. And so Howdy Week ambassadors really gives everybody the outlook to do so, and give students this perspective on hey, you're not alone. We're here to help you, and we want to have fun with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And from y'all's perspective, y'all serve in different roles, but you still assist with Howdy Week events as you have helped transition all of these incoming students throughout the summer at our new student conferences. How does it feel going from the side of being just an attendee at Howdy Week to now helping enhance that experience for other students?
Yeah, I think it's actually really great. It's a great feeling knowing that I'm helping people. I feel like that's kind of what I was put on this earth to do, hence the career choice. But I think it's a lot of fun. I did it last year as well. Ice cream carnival, a bit hot. However, I got unlimited ice cream and I got to meet a bunch of new students. And then I think really one of the best things for me was first day of class photos. It was, again, really hot, but it's so funny seeing all the students and they're oh, my mom really needs this picture. Can you take it for me? All of these different stories that you hear about why this student needs this picture taken. I think it's just so nice to see everyone kind of come together and just be there on the first day of class or throughout Howdy Week.
Yeah.
And all of that. Yeah, it's just really nice to see everything. Yeah.
Our students do love their first day of class photos, and you are so right. It is so hot. As somebody who moved here from the north, it is wild. We've actually purchased over 20,000 water bottles for this year's Howdy Week. So, nope, everybody should be hydrated, starting now.
I think from the perspective of going from a student to then doing this, because I'm just a sophomore now. And being an orientation leader and seeing all the work that we do behind the scenes really made me respect the orientation leaders last year, because I know that the experience as an orientation leader has changed a lot between the 2 summers. So thank you guys for making it a smooth experience. And I hope we've done the same thing for a bunch of kids. I'm excited to see if they remember me at Howdy Week.
Oh, they will.
They will.
Spikey just went to fish camp, and he's the number of people that were driving up, and they're you presented at my NSC. They're Spikey? So you will definitely be remembered throughout this experience, even if you're not in your polo. I know that's our designated uniform through the summer, but they will definitely remember you.
There will be people that remember your fun facts. It's just things that stick with them. And they're oh my gosh, you had this fun fact. You're oh, yeah.
For one panel, me and a couple other orientation leaders all said that our favorite color was blue. Yeah. So I'm kind of scared for them to be you're the guy that was on the blue panel.
Yeah.
So as we prepare to kick off for Howdy Week, do you have any advice for students, whether they are new or returning, have been to a Howdy Week or haven't been to a Howdy Week? And what would you share with them? We'll start with you, Gabe.
I would say that no matter at what stage you are, if you're a freshman, a senior, it's important to just talk to the people around you, because everybody is feeling the same way you are, because they're do I talk to this person or do I not? Just talk to them. There's nothing gonna hurt you about talking to somebody new. So I'd say that that's my piece of advice, is just talk to people around you. It'll be a good experience. And if it's bad, I'm sorry.
I think my biggest advice to any student, but especially freshmen, is to just go. No matter if you're scared or you don't have anybody to go with or this, and that, you're going to have excuses, but Howdy Week is going to be your first introduction to Aggie Land. you will absolutely meet so many new people there. And coming from someone that was afraid to go to Howdy Week, didn't go to a lot of the events, it really closes you off coming into A&M. And so if you're just even nervous about meeting new people, go to Howdy Week. You will meet new people all over the place. Everyone here is so excited to get to know new people. And I think it's just a really great opportunity to get a good foundation of friends and stuff like that coming in, especially if it's your first time in a new place without your hometown friends or your family and stuff. It can definitely be daunting, but
absolutely. There are plenty of people to meet. And I think something that really hit me this summer when I was presenting at new student conferences was in the welcome session, I try to ask where people are coming from, and I welcome them to either Texas A&M as a transfer student or welcome them this year specifically to the class of 2029 and recognizing the hard work that they've done. And for me personally, I graduated with 63 people in my high school, and I know that that is very small in comparison to what some other people have graduated with. But I also had the realization this year that essentially these incoming students, particularly freshmen, they're joining now a community that is their class of about 12,000. Mm-hmm. And so that kind of hit me a little bit. And I was like, this is a little bit, I don't want to say it's daunting. It's exciting, but it's also wow, that is crazy big.
Yeah.
So you're absolutely right. When there's opportunities to meet new people, there's somebody everywhere.
I totally agree with everything you were just saying. At the same time, being nervous is a good sign. It means you're excited for what's to come.
Absolutely.
So that would kind of be my advice. If you're nervous, that's okay. And also, even if you're not a freshman, it's okay to start over. That's the whole point of Texas A&M. There's so many student organizations. There's so many opportunities to get involved. And so it's okay to start over, go alone, and walk to the Howdy Hub and meet a new friend. And I just really like Howdy Week because it brings everybody together.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that I think is really great about Howdy Week and something that we're really trying to break up is this idea that Howdy Week is only for incoming students or incoming freshmen, but Howdy Week is for everybody. You could be a freshman, you could be a senior, you could be an incoming graduate student or professional student. And so we've been working more diligently this year to build those relationships with those individuals, and the graduate school and international and student scholar services, while they have their individual orientations during Howdy Week, they also are hosting events that will take place throughout Howdy Week. So even if you aren't sure if you should attend an event or you think it's geared towards an undergraduate student, they're really open to everybody. And so I'm actually going to bounce back to you a little bit, Courtney, and you mentioned Ice Cream Carnival. Can you explain a little bit more about what Ice Cream Carnival is and how students, particularly even graduate students, can get connected through that?
Absolutely. So at the Ice Cream Carnival, there are a bunch of different stations of things that we offer here at Texas A&M. And last year we did punch cards. And so you would get a punch card from one of the volunteers. I was one of those. And you would go to the different stations and talk to them about what they offer and just get to know a little bit about everything that they do here at Texas A&M. And I think it was a really good opportunity for students to just get to know everything that we have to offer here. And the same goes for graduate students. I know there's specific things that graduate students have and stuff like that. And so you can just go there and learn a whole bunch about all of these different resources that we have on campus, whether you're a freshman, a senior, a grad student, whatever you might be. There's definitely a way to get all of that information through Howdy Week. And I think Ice Cream Carnival is just a fun way to do it. And you do get rewarded. And so we were giving out these clear Howdy Week fanny packs last year. I think also rally rags. Mm-hmm. But I really liked the fanny pack, and I will be wearing it again for Howdy Week this year. So if you don't get those this year, just be jealous. Or I just thought it was really good because you just get to see everybody kind of coming together and learning a lot about the university you love so much. And so, yeah. And then you get ice cream. So,
win-win.
Everybody loves ice cream.
Yeah.
Especially when it's so hot outside.
Yeah.
And I think we've touched on it, and you mentioned it a little bit. A large part of Howdy Week is having fun.
Yeah.
But also I want to emphasize that part of it is learning. So we recognize that students are coming to a completely different environment, whether it's from their out of state, they are not a 5th generation Aggie, they are an international student coming here for the first time. And so our goal is to also connect students with resources and services that the institution offers so that, say that a challenge comes up, they know where they can go and they know where they can seek support. So as we continue through this experience and talking about Howdy Week a little bit, do y'all have any specific memories from Howdy Week?
I really remember going to Wreckapalooza. I went with my 2 roommates and one of my friends from fish camp. We spent really the whole time rock climbing, just because the wreck has really nice like climbing walls. We did the bouldering ones, not like the harnessed ones. But we were there for 3 hours just climbing, and it was a really fun experience because the wrecks are really nice. They were super clean. So we stayed for as long as we could, and then we went home and had dinner. So I enjoyed that part.
Perfect.
Like I mentioned, I didn't go to much of Howdy Week because I was afraid of being alone and stuff like that. But I think the class photo was obviously kind of my favorite memory. I remember it being obviously so hot and crowded, but people were there to help. There were water bottles and things like that being handed out. And emphasis on do not pass out. Please hydrate before. Do not pass out. And I thought that was so funny at the time. I was like, wow, this is hilarious. There's no way this is real right now. And then we took our picture and it was the entire class of 27, not even 27 anymore. I'm 26, but that's really cool. But yeah, I think that was just a great introduction, I guess. And looking back, I wish I had done more with Howdy Week. And all of that involvement before school started. But I mean, I'm glad I at least did that.
Yeah.
I did get to know a few people from Howdy Week, and I actually have a class with one of the girls that I met in the class photo. And she does my spray tans, so it's really nice.
So how do you feel the opposite side in class photo? You helped out last year. So how did it feel not necessarily being a student in the number, but helping students get through that process?
I honestly liked it more because I get super claustrophobic sometimes. And so obviously I was on the outside of it a little bit more, but there were people noticing me or recognizing me, I guess, from their NSCs all over. And that was so cool because I didn't feel like I had that big of an impact on students. Because I was just this girl on the panel. It wasn't anything crazy. I was just talking about my experience at A&M my first year and my major and stuff. And people were like, oh my gosh, you talked about this, you talked about that. How'd you get this job? And of course I wanted to talk about myself. So it was really great. And we had those wet rag things that I wore around my neck with my fan and stuff. But I was not prepared for that when I was doing my class photo. So if anybody needs advice about class photo, wear a cool rag or whatever. I think we do have some. I'm not sure this year, but we did last year. But hydrate a lot and bring a little fan. They are lifesavers. Buy them on Amazon or TikTok Shop or whatever you want to do. But yes, I loved it. And just helping them is so great. And I can't wait to be able to do that again this year and be in a different color shirt. I'm so excited for that.
All right. What about you, Jamie? Going from what was your favorite memory as a student attending Howdy Week?
My freshman year, my favorite experience was Ice Cream Carnival, to know all the resources on and off campus and to get involved with different departments that Texas A&M has, and then eat ice cream as well. That was so awesome. Yeah. But as a volunteer last year, class photo has to be my favorite. She touched on a lot of all my favorite parts, but it was just so funny when I would go to different groups of the 28, so the 2 and the 8, and we would tell them to start just bending their knees so they didn't pass out. And I met a lot of my friends at class photo freshman year, and so seeing all of them, talk to one another and meet new people, I just felt like this is such a good event that
It
people
is.
should attend.
It is great. It honestly is the one place. I think we have like 9,000 to 10,000 students attend this event every year. No joke. We're like running out of room on the field, and every year we're like, okay, we're going to add another line right here. So the 8 is just going to be a little bit chunkier.
I fully feel like we did that last year.
Yes.
And I was like, all right, let me take a step back. We'll like put another line here. Cool.
Yes. I just love how many people genuinely have an interest in it and are like, this is such a memorable experience for me to be able to go to the class photo and have that class unity with the class this year of 2029. But can y'all talk about how attendance at Howdy Week can really set the stage for a student's Aggie experience?
I think getting involved in Howdy Week, meeting at least one person and getting their phone number or their social media. You can get lunch with them at a dining hall, hang out with them at the MSC, study with them. You'd realize how much you have in common with them with like general education classes. And so that really brings you a community. You learn to have a community and learn to find friends. So just as small as attending one event or as large as attending all of them, you can get free food. I've heard that some people only go to Howdy Week events for like having meals every single day. So that's a pro. But at the same time, meeting people, it just helps you down the line to feel like you have a support system, friends-wise and resources-wise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my friend met a girl at the class photo, and they dated for about 3 weeks and stopped dating after that. So
Gabe, that is so random.
what? We
feel
were
like
talking
that was
about the
my
class
roommate.
photo.
Is that the underlying message here?
It's not the underlying message, but I'm just saying anything can happen.
Like Love Island turned Howdy Week?
That would be an experience.
I'd sit that one out.
I don't even remember what we were talking about anymore.
The question is
I don't
really,
remember it either.
how can attending Howdy Week set the tone for a student's Aggie experience?
Okay, yeah. So I think I've hit on this quite a bit now, but obviously coming into A&M, it can be super overwhelming. It's so big. We have so many students. And if you're like me and you get nervous and stuff like that, I think Howdy Week is definitely one of the most important things for a student to attend because you will meet new people. It's not what if, it's how many will I meet? How many friends can I make? How many people will I have classes with? Because normally as a freshman or even as a transfer student, you're still going to be taking some of those same classes. And so you can meet all sorts of people that are taking Bio 111 with the same professor or something like that. And 90% of the time you're going to have the class with them because our lectures are so big. And so you also meet people that can then be resources for you throughout like college and stuff like that. But you also just meet people that can be great friends. And so I think it's just a great opportunity for people to come together and really just build a foundation of friendship through Howdy Week.
Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to welcome our students back to Aggieland this fall. And I'm looking forward to kicking off the academic year with Howdy Week. So I appreciate y'all being here, and we look forward to seeing you at Howdy Week.
Get 'em.